What drives a person to destroy what belongs to another, to let rage consume them until the flames of their anger become real? In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where picket fences and manicured lawns painted a picture of harmony, one woman's fury shattered the illusion. This is the story of Karen Whitaker, a woman whose obsession with perfection ignited a fire both literal and figurative that would burn her life to ashes. Karen Whitaker, 42, was the kind of neighbor who noticed everything. The way the miller's mailbox leaned slightly to the left, the faint hum of the Rodriguez family's air conditioner at night, the single dandelion that dared to sprout on her own pristine lawn. To Karen, these weren't just imperfections, they were personal affronts, challenges to her carefully curated world. Her house, a pale blue colonial with white shutters, was her fortress, her lawn a testament to her control. She mowed it twice a week, edged it with surgical precision, and sprayed it with chemicals to keep even the smallest weed at bay. Her neighbors called her the lawn queen, though never to her face. Across the street lived Javier Morales, a single father who moved to Willow Creek 6 months earlier with his teenage daughter, Sophia. Javier's lawn was fine, green mostly but patchy in spots, with clover creeping in where the grass thinned. To Karen, it was an eyesore, a blight on the neighborhood's perfection. She'd left polite notes at first, taped to Javier's mailbox. Consider fertilizing your lawn for a healthier look. Then came the emails, the HOA complaints, the pointed stares when Javier mowed on Sundays. Javier, a nurse who worked long shifts, didn't have time for Karen's standards. He'd smile, wave, and promise to get to it. But life always got in the way. The tension simmered through the spring, but it was a scorching July afternoon that set everything ablaze. Karen, sweating through her linen blouse, stood on her porch, staring at Javier's lawn. A patch of crabgrass had spread near his driveway, mocking her. She'd had enough. She marched to her garage, grabbed a can of gasoline, and, in a haze of righteous fury, doused Javier's lawn. The match she struck didn't just ignite the grass, it unleashed a chain of events that would unravel her life. The flames roared to life, licking across the dry lawn with terrifying speed. Black smoke billowed, curling into the sky like a warning. Neighbors spilled out of their homes, phones in hand, recording the inferno. Sophia, home alone, screamed from the porch as the fire crept toward their house. Karen stood frozen, the empty gasoline can dangling from her hand, her face a mask of shock and defiance. She hadn't meant for it to go this far. She'd only wanted to teach Javier a lesson, to make him care. The fire department arrived just as the flames kissed the edge of Javier's porch. They doused the blaze, but not before it charred half the lawn and blackened the siding of the house. Sirens wailed as police cars rolled in, and Karen, still clutching the can, was cuffed and led away. The neighborhood watched in stunned silence, their phones still recording, capturing the fall of the lawn queen. But the story doesn't end with handcuffs. Enter Clara Hensley, a quiet widow who lived 2 houses down. Clara, with her wildflower garden and gentle demeanor, was the last person anyone expected to shift the narrative. She'd always been kind to Karen, offering her tea during HOA meetings, even when Karen snapped about her unkempt flowers. Clara, it turned out, had been watching the drama unfold for months. She'd seen Karen's notes, heard her complaints, and noticed the way Karen's hands trembled when she spoke about Javier's lawn. Clara knew something no one else did. Karen wasn't just angry, she was unraveling. Clara visited Karen in jail the next day, her gray hair pulled back, her eyes soft but resolute. "Why, Karen?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Karen, her face pale and streaked with mascara, broke down. She spoke of her divorce 2 years earlier, how her ex-husband had taken everything, her confidence, her sense of control. The lawn was all she had left, a symbol of order in a world that felt chaotic. Javier's neglect felt like a personal attack, a reminder of her own failures. Clara listened, her heart aching, but she didn't excuse Karen's actions. Instead, she did something unexpected. She paid for Karen's bail. When Karen returned home, she found Clara waiting on her porch with a thermos of tea. "You're not a monster," Clara said, "but you've got to face what you've done." Karen, humbled for the first time in years, nodded. She expected the neighborhood to shun her, but Clara rallied them. She organized a cleanup for Javier's lawn, and to everyone's surprise, most neighbors showed up shovels, sod, and seedlings in hand. Even Sophia, still shaken, helped plant new grass. Javier, exhausted but grateful, thanked them, his eyes lingering on Karen, who stood at the edge of the group, silent. The twist came at the trial. Karen pleaded guilty, expecting a fine and community service. The judge, however, saw the viral videos of the fire, the fear in Sophia's eyes, the damage to Javier's home. He slammed Karen with a $200,000 fine covering repairs, legal fees, and punitive damages. The courtroom gasped. Karen's savings, already depleted from the divorce, couldn't cover it. She'd lose her house, her fortress, her lawn. But Clara wasn't done. She took the stand, unprompted, and spoke of Karen's pain, her isolation, her need for redemption. "She's not evil," Clara said, her voice steady. "She's broken." The judge didn't budge on the fine, but he added a condition. Karen would work with the community to restore what she'd destroyed, not just Javier's lawn, but the trust she'd shattered. Karen threw herself into the task. She mowed lawns, planted flowers, and even helped Sophia start a small garden. She apologized to Javier, her voice cracking as she admitted her shame. Javier, to his credit, forgave her, though he'd never forget the terror of that day. The neighborhood began to heal, but Karen's life was forever changed. She sold her house to pay the fine, moving into a small apartment on the edge of town. Her lawn, once her pride, was now someone else's. The final blow came quietly. One evening, as Karen walked past her old house, she saw Clara tending to a new flower bed where her perfect lawn once stood. Wildflowers bloomed messy, vibrant, free. Karen stopped, her chest tight. Clara looked up and smiled, but Karen couldn't smile back. She'd wanted control, perfection, but all she'd left behind was ash and a lesson she'd learned too late. Rage destroys more than it creates. As she walked away, the neighborhood glowed under the sunset, alive with the hum of life she'd once tried to silence. Karen Whitaker, the lawn queen, was no more. Her story wasn't one of triumph or redemption, but of consequence, a warning that anger, unchecked, burns everything in its path. ND